Are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside the Tuesday episode of Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. I'm Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as he pops in here. And let me get this off of this weird little. You got it. Oh, wait, I have to change her background too. You probably got it before
I get all the power now. It's fun to be in control, but now we can be quick to the punch together.
I beat you to it.
Still got a fun day though of baseball.
Yeah,
Interviews ahead of us.
So here's what's on the show today. We are going to have Fred Moots live on the show at about 1:30. He is the softball coach over at Boardman. Also, we will be playing two interviews that are pre-recorded that are already on the website, but we're going to play them for you here on Running Point. And it is going to be Cameron Carson, the head coach of the Lakeview Bulldogs, and Anthony Ragazine, the head coach of Middle Ridge Baseball. Both baseball teams. Did I say Lakeview softball? I didn't mean to.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a bunch of coaches coming on today. So, well, one coach coming on today and two more going to be featured that are already on the website. But we both had a chance to talk to Coach Carson. I had a chance to talk with Coach Ragazine. So, a couple more baseball previews to get you ready for the upcoming season.
Breaking news that went on our site just about, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes ago. The Scrappers have officially hired a new manager to replace Coco Crisp. It'll be Homer Bush. He is a former Yankee, Blue Jay, and Marlin, and he will now manage the Scrappers. I should have asked you what three teams he played for. See if you
That's my trivia question.
So he will be taking over the reins at the Scrappers, as we are getting ever so excited to start covering them again this summer. And it's a new era under Homer Bush.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he's going to help development-wise for the talent that'll come through. Coco Crisp did a phenomenal job, and the talent that was on the Scrappers last year was really at peak form too come middle of the season, because come the draft, we saw a lot of those guys get shipped off, and that's a good thing too, and that's what the intention of the Scrappers are too. But the team looked completely different come the second half of the season, and I guess the manager, it's your job too to kind of facilitate and help these athletes grow and get them ready to get to the next level and get them ready to get drafted.
You know, it couldn't have been easy to manage a team in the first year of this league when no one really knew exactly how it was going to go, and you didn't really know what the culture was going to be and how much to make it about elevating the kids that are there, how much about winning, how much about, just profiling the individual, player that you have that can be drafted, et cetera, et cetera. Do you run it like a travel team? Do you run it like a league team and want to win? How do you balance that? I think it was probably a very hard position for Coco Crisp to be in, but he did a fantastic job all season and had them in first place for most of the year until their roster got dramatically kind of changed, and then all of a sudden some teams made some comebacks.
Yeah, and I mean, interesting to see how development of the Scrappers are going to be this season, and going to be exciting to see what kind of talent comes through the Mahoning Valley.
The league is going to be different this season too. I mean, they've kind of put out a little bit of a new format on the amount of games they're going to play, and they kind of broke up the season into, I believe, 3 different parts. So it's going to look different. I think the league took that first year and took it in and then made the adjustments accordingly, which is what good leagues do. I mean, you take it and then you see what happens and then you adjust the next year and constantly kind of move forward.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it looks a little bit different than what the Scrappers originally looked like, but I mean, I kind of like it. And I mean, it was nice to keep them because I mean, originally we were going to lose them all together. So to keep this and have it as this developmental league, I like it too. And I like the kind of style of it. And I like that they're trying new things. And it feels nice that at least in the minors that they're willing to try different things with the league or with this draft type league. And it seems like in the majors, it takes years to get anything implemented. And when they finally do implement stuff, it's stupid, like making the bases bigger.
The bases big. Other breaking news that came out yesterday: our basketball season is over at YSN in the high school realm, but YSU women, who we have been a proud sponsor of all year, they're continuing their basketball season. They will play in the WNIT. And last night, the brackets were released. Actually, I should say yesterday afternoon at 2:00, right after we went off the air. YSU will host Kent State in the first round of the WNIT, and that will be Wednesday at 5:30. It's going to be a part of a boys-girls double. I should say men's and women's doubleheader. The women will play at 5:30, and then the men will play in the I think they call it the Basketball Classic. It's not the NIT. It's another tournament that the men are playing in, and they will play Morgan State after the women's game at YSU. The estimated tip time for that is 8:00. So, doubleheader in the Beagley Center for the Penguins basketball teams. WNIT for the women and the Basketball Classic for the men. The women will play Kent State.
Go Flash.
And the men will play Morgan State.
Should be fun, though. Should be fun. If you're looking to do something, get out there and help support.
This is a great opportunity for the women to wash out the taste in their mouths after, an early exit in the Horizon League tournament. They won the regular season championship. They felt good going into that tournament, and then they got knocked out early at home against Oakland. And, anytime you can play after that to kind of wash that taste out of your mouth, maybe get a couple of wins in the WNIT, then I think they'll feel real good about themselves moving forward because they're not losing a ton. I mean, Chelsea Olsen going to be gone, but they still bring back Obla. They still bring back Malia Magestro. They're going to bring back a lot of really talented players. Paige Shy, the transfer from Marshall's coming back. Lily Ritz is coming back. So they're bringing back a lot, basically, is the point. But something to kind of end the season with a positive nature is a good opportunity for the women of the Penguins.
Yeah, and it was a phenomenal season by YSU entirely, too. And I mean, it was exciting following them as basketball season as a whole was really exciting from high school realm upwards. I mean, just in the entire area with the amount of teams that we had and the competitive balance that it felt like there was night to night. And then what YSU was doing, even in the college realm. I mean, basketball seems like it's on a trend upwards right now, and it's very fun and exciting to be a part of in this area.
In the MVAC girls basketball all-star game last night, the gray tier got the win, 78-58. So the gray tier shows their dominance in the MVAC realm. We already had the de facto MVAC championship in the tournament. And now we get the best of the best in each conference going up against each other. And the girls' gray tier won 78-58.
Yeah, and I mean, that gray tier, we've always said it's kind of felt like a gauntlet of a schedule. Both MVAC sides are tough, but I might have to seal it that the gray side was the toughest side to get through this season.
Excuse me. Yeah, the gray tier definitely that was like the last jab. So the gray tier kind of reigned supreme this season. We'll see how it goes next year with a lot of talent coming back from each side.
Yeah, it'll certainly be fun too, as it'll be interesting to see how things balance out come baseball and softball season too.
We've had a couple of more announcements as far as players that have committed and officially stamped their name into our All-Star game. I believe Kevin Moore officially made his will officially be Campbell's representative in the All-Star game. Obviously, he was waiting until the end of his season. Alan Underwood has officially been named the fifth representative for the boys. We have Alyssa Dill officially being the representative for Canfield girls, and I think Brooke Shantz this morning as well being the official representative of the Western Reserve girls being announced tonight this morning as well. So more and more players stamping their name into this All-Star game.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to actually see a decent amount of them this season too, and all well-deserving players as well. Getting Alan Underwood on there too. I mean, he had some highlight reel moments.
You think he'll just take some shots from half court just for the
yeah,
stunned
the Canfield crowd from half court. That was exciting. Kevin Moore's been a thriller to watch all season too. Guy that averaged just under 20 points a game this season. I mean, he's always capable of putting some highlight reel dunks into play as well. And then, I mean, you look on the girls' side too. Brooke Shantz has been one that's a leader for that team too, and she's really exemplified toughness for the Lady Blue Devils, and she's done a phenomenal job. Had a great season this year too for Western Reserve, and she's going to be an integral part, I think, moving forward going into next season.
As far as who will play on what team, that hasn't been exactly decided yet, but you can bet that the coaches of the games will have their players. So like Nick Blanche and Jeff Fisher will both have Connie Kugris and Lexi Giles automatically. Hamilton and Gilbert will both have Sarah Seaman and Jenna McClish automatically. And then they'll just kind of draft the players themselves of the rest of the pool of the roster. So that's how it'll be kind of decided who's on what team. Coach Fish versus, I think we should ask them both to come up with a team name, Team Fish, Team Bluefish.
Bluefish.
Team, I wouldn't even know, Gilbert Hamilton. Can't think
You're
of
blanking on it, Ant. You're blanking on it.
Nope, I'm blanking. Can't think of that's tough. I can make like a Hamilton pun from the stage show, but I don't know how Gilbert would kind of go into that.
But this should be fun too. March 26th, 5 p.m. Start time for the girls. Get out there and watch and support this too. A YSN All-Star game.
Remember, also, the South Range baseball team will be in action at noon in South Range. So busy day at the Raiders complex.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of baseball going on around noon too. And so get out there, go get a baseball game under your belt too, and then come over to the YSN All-Star game and see some of the area's best all on the court at the same time.
DJ Oakley making a comment.
Ooh. To assignment. It's like poker, essentially, is what DJ is saying. So the players will be assigned trading cards and then will be drawn assignment.
Oh, trading. That's cool.
Playing cards. So I think if what I'm understanding, everyone is going to be having a playing card, and then I guess you're going to be just drawn by suit.
It's not going to be a straight. It's not going to be a straight up draft, which is sorry, I assumed, but obviously that plan was old.
No, it's going to be randomized then. Right. So everyone will get a card, and then they'll be assigned by suits then.
Right.
And then so whatever suit you have, you're with that coach. So that makes sense. That makes sense.
I think like every player will be on, like there's going to be 52 players. So every player will be a card in the deck, and the coaches are going to draw a card and say, okay, I have the 3 of diamonds. So whatever player was the 3 of diamonds I have. Is that how is that, I don't know. It could be.
I don't know if that was it, or if all the players are going to get a card, and then you're just going to say all the players that got a diamond go here, all the ones that got clubs here, spades here. Like,
because then we can control what players on what card. I feel like if it's random, then we want it to be random, right? Like we want it to be almost, or do we want it to be like we control? I don't know. I'm not. Well,
I guess you could do that too if you had just the deck there, and you just say Hamilton has spades, Gilbert has clubs. Just pick a card. Like,
okay. See, I was thinking each player will be like assigned a card. Like say Brooke Shantz, who just got.
Oh, DJ's coming on.
DJ's gonna come on.
He needs to explain it. He needs to explain it. Yeah. Gotta have him break it down for us. Just have him come down.
Hey, DJ. Oh,
what's going on, guys?
How we doing?
I'm doing well. So I want to explain this really quick because I know you got better people and better looking people to get to. But so for the All-Star game, we've decided instead of doing this, I draft this person, I draft this person, we decided to make it kind of a neat concept of you got 52 training cards. I think there's going to be, I believe, 49 representatives in the girls' game, and very similar to the boys' game. So each player has been assigned. So like the ace of clubs, the 10 of spades, whatever it is, they're each assigned prior to, and then the coaches get, a card. So each one they're just going to take right off the top. We're going to shuffle them up, and that's the player that they'll have representing their team. So I think it's a different way to do it. It's more exciting, and it's not like the old kickball days where if you get picked last in gym class, you kind of have those hard feelings. I think it's fun, it's exciting, and it's new. So we're trying it to see how it works. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, we'll shift it up for next year and for our baseball and softball All-Star games. But I saw this done somewhere else, and I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. And especially with the just sheer amount of players that we have, it's the only way to do it, and to do it at a quick pace so we don't have a 72-hour draft on our hands. So
I like it. No, so just for example, like for one player will be given, say you are the 3 of diamonds, and if the coach draws the 3 of diamonds, you're on that coach's team. Basically like that, right?
Correct. Yeah. So like if Fish takes right off the top, so Fish will get Alexi Giles, and he will also get Connie Kugris because he's with Coach Blanche. So you take those two; those are completely off the board. So we'll take those two off right away, and then we're actually giving Sarah and Aaron the first card draw because they're the visiting team.
Right.
So Sarah will draw right off the top, and let's say she has the ace of diamonds. We'll look on our computer and we'll say, okay, ace of diamonds is this person. We'll pop up. Hopefully we can pop up the graphic and say, hey, here's this person's drafted, taken off the board, and such, and so on and so forth. So
when can people see this draft, DJ, if they want to see it?
So we're working on the timing of it, because when you're trying to get 8 coaches together, it's a lot of scheduling, and people think because basketball season's over that these coaches are done, like they just go into hiding or something, or go on vacation. That's not the case. These are busy people. And obviously they want to keep things going. I mean, that's 4 coaches that had really successful years this year, and they're giving up a lot of time and resources to even be in this game. So we're very appreciative. So to be determined, Ty, I guess is the best way to approach that.
So just stay tuned to our socials too, and you'll get an update on that. Obviously going to come before the March 26th game, but it'll be between now and then too. So stay tuned to socials, and we'll get an update. That'll obviously be exciting too when that's going down.
I can't wait. And just for everybody's thoughts, and I know that everybody's the train of thought is going on the tracks constantly. We will have the complete assignment. So if you miss the draft, we'll have the assignments. So if you're on the away team, you'll be able to know that you should bring your away jersey. If you're on the home team, bring your home jersey. Fish will. If you're on Fish's team and you're on Coach Blanche's team, bring your home jersey. It's at South Range, so we thought it was the most appropriate to have Jeff have the home team. And if you're on Coach Hamilton or Aaron Gilbert's team, then you need to bring your away jersey. So
awesome, DJ. Thanks for the clarity.
You got it, boys. Have a good show.
You too. All right, so that clears it up pretty easy. So
yeah. For sure. Nice clearing that up and how that's going to be. And I think it's new, and I think it's going to be exciting because basically what you said, everyone's going to be assigned a card too. So when these cards start getting flipped too, and just seeing how these players are going to get assigned too, it'll be exciting seeing some of these players team up too, because none of them have really before. Maybe in AAU, of course, but not in the high school realm. So it's going to be exciting, and seeing all those jerseys on one court, of course, there's nothing that beats that.
When there's some, I like kind of both sides. There's one where the All-Star games, you wear the T-shirt and you're wearing the All-Star T-shirt and you have your number on your back. That's kind of cool because you get to see like the sponsorship of the All-Star game and everyone gets to wear it. But there's something to be said, I think, especially in this kind of All-Star game, when the whole idea is trying to showcase the diversity of Ysn and the widespread talent. It makes sense to have all the teams and the colors represented on the floor, I feel like it would take away from the moment of this All-Star game to put them all in T-shirts and have their numbers on the back. I feel like for this particular All-Star game, when the whole point is to put a light on the diversity of YSN and put a light on how many teams we have and the talent that's spread out through the teams, I feel like you should represent the teams with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think if you're not following YSN on the socials, you need to be doing that. And you need to make sure you have notifications on or something, because when this draft goes down, I don't think you want to miss it. It's going to be exciting to see. And it shouldn't be something that takes too much time either. So it'll be quick, it'll be efficient, but
and you better keep an eye, because the window's shrinking, so it's got to be soon, because it's a week from Saturday. Here we go. So it's got to be this week or next week. So keep your eyes locked. Put those notifications on our Twitter.
Put the notifications on anyway, because we're still. I mean, the number of players that we've gotten to. I mean, right. You could have been getting up to date too on the rosters as they've been dropped too on the players in the pool, and you could still go on our socials right now and see all the players that are actively in the pool.
Subscribe to our YouTube. Hit the notification button. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Everything. I think that's all we got. We're working on a Snapchat and TikTok. I'm working on DJ to try to get one of those, but we'll see.
Oh, Anthony wants to start rolling up the TikToks. So you're going to come up with daily TikToks, Anthony?
Daily TikTok content for YSN. That's exactly what we're going to do. Snap. Get your snaps from YSN.
Yeah, there you go, Ant. And it's going to run the Snapchat and the TikTok.
You want the Snapchat? Behind the scenes footage.
Just a Snapchat of Anthony
behind the scenes footage would work. Behind the scenes footage would work, but we're never in the studio to actually do behind the scenes footage.
Well, the studio's getting grass and turf put onto it now, which looks great, by the way.
Honestly, the construction of the studio right now would make an awesome TikTok. Just saying. Like, you could have a guy in a lawnmower come through and be like, "What's this mowing the lawn?" Like that Sports Center commercial when they're trying to do a sports broadcast and the guy's mowing the lawn behind them because they have turf in the studio.
We would just have
that's what I thought of as soon as
Quinn on a riding lawnmower as we're running. As we're doing Running Point, Quinn's on a riding lawnmower.
Don't mind me.
Just running in the back.
Come and take a ride on a big green tractor. With that being said, I think all of that mess has been cleared up, and once again, follow us on all of our social media accounts if you're not already, and stay up to date on when those drafts. Well, I should say it couldn't even call them a draft. I guess assignment. Well, I don't know what we're gonna call it. I guess you could still call it a draft, even if you're not literally picking.
They're still getting drafted. It's randomized.
Yeah, it's not chaos.
It's not manual as much as it is just it's a randomized draft. You're still getting drafted to a team. It's just who knows who you're getting. It's
and you can't blame anything on your roster. It's all luck of the draw. So you can't blame us. You can't blame the coaches. So
it's almost the same as if they were on the cards themselves, the players. Right. We just had their cards, like a baseball.
That would be cool.
That would be cool if we had their card with the season stats on it too.
This is who you get. Topps playing cards with our players on them. Oh man, let's get to some coaches, Ty. Let's hear from Lakeview's baseball coach Cameron Carson. We got to interview him a little bit ago, and it was a great interview. This is a great conversation. We hope you enjoy it. Here is Cameron Carson, the head coach of the Lakeview baseball team. Anthony Hartwig, Ty Bartell here with a very special Lakeview Coaches Corner with Lakeview baseball head coach Cameron Carson. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, like we like to do with all of our area teams, we always like to start off with a meet the team session. So go ahead and shout out those players that are going to be turning some heads in Bulldog country, as well as some younger players that you think are going to be surprising some people this year.
Yeah, we have a really good group coming back this year. We're a veteran-led team for sure. We have 6 seniors, 5 juniors, and 10 sophomores, as well as 6 freshmen. So we got a good group. Numbers are good this year. Jake Williams is a guy that's going to lead the charge for us, senior, second baseman. He was first team all-conference last year, batted 395, had 13 RBIs. We're going to expect a lot from him, both at the plate and on the mound. We got Cal Rink, another senior. He was a second-team all-conference guy last year, batted .411, had 16 RBIs. He's been huge for us in the offseason, kind of setting the tone, taking that leadership role. So definitely excited about him. Ty Capan can be our shortstop, junior. He was another second-team all-conference guy last year. So excited to have those three guys, as well as Andrew McRoberts, going to be our center fielder, going to hold it together out there in the outfield for us. So excited about him. He batted .403 last year. Alex Stowe, our catcher, another guy, batted .354 last year, was a key part of their lineup last year, I know. So excited about him. And then kind of newcomers, Andrew Brown is sophomore. We're expecting a lot from him on the mound. He's looked really good so far in his pens and some of his sessions. So he's kind of like our newcomer that we're looking forward to. And then, like I said, we got a big group of sophomores. So there's a couple other guys in that group that are going to contribute for us. We also got a freshman coming up that's competing for a spot. So definitely excited about that group of guys.
I mean, we're in about maybe a week of practice, and then next week will be scrimmages, and then here comes the season. As you kind of look at your roster, you look at what you got, you start to see what the team's going to look like. What are some goals that you guys are going to set as a coaching staff this season for this team, and what are the expectations that you have of Bulldogs baseball?
Yeah, so obviously this being my first year here, first year teaching, first year coaching here, just kind of like trying to change the culture around, build the program, how I envision it being built. And like I've mentioned before, we're a veteran-heavy team, so having those seniors here in the off-season workouts and just as practice has been getting started, those guys have been huge for me. They go a long way in helping us develop the program that we're trying to develop. So we're just trying to set a culture of winning here, whether that's in the classroom, on the field, when they go outside and they're doing things in the community. So just trying to set high goals there, and then just expect to win. We're a hungry bunch. We got a lot of potential, a lot of good guys on this team, a lot of good baseball players. So obviously, some of our goals, we want to compete for a conference title. I know we're kind of a dark horse. I think we're kind of flying under the radar right now, but I think like early on the season, we're gonna put ourselves on the map and kind of be a team that teams have to game plan around and kind of think about when they got Lakeview coming up on the schedule. So we're just trying to turn some heads early, obviously compete for the conference, and then, always want to make a run at the district. I feel like we got a group of guys that can definitely do that. Our district is one of the toughest around, but I feel like, if we have our head on straight, we play how I think our guys are going to play, I think we got a good shot.
Talking about the conference you play in with that Northeastern 8, just talk about faring against these teams inside the NE8, and who do you think is going to be the teams that kind of stand in the way of you guys accomplishing that conference championship?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say any team's going to stand in our way. I think that we're going to dictate kind of how we do in the conference. So we'll take on anybody. But obviously, everybody's kind of chasing South Range. They've set the standard for the last couple of years. Niles, that's where I was at before this. I know they have a good group coming back. They got a lot of seniors themselves, so always chasing them. Poland, that's another team. They're always competitive in the league. So those guys are in the top, but I think that, like I mentioned before, I think that we're going to be knocking on the door. I really think that we can compete with any of those teams. I think that we got a good shot to beat any of those teams. I don't know if anybody like preseason poll is picking us to win the conference, but that's definitely a goal that we have in mind and something we really feel like we can accomplish. So like I said, I don't think anybody's going to stand in our way. I think that we're going to dictate some of that. So just kind of going for that and taking them head on.
Coach, with your first year in the program, and you have a lot of returning seniors and veterans on this group, how important has it been that they buy into what you're trying to sell as a team, so all the younger kids can buy into the culture and the philosophy that you said that you're trying to build here in Lakeview? How important has it been to see your veterans kind of buy into what you're selling?
Oh, it's been huge because once all the young guys see the seniors, see the juniors buying into what we're doing, they just follow suit. I really, from the beginning, I've had great numbers. The first off-season workout we had a lot of buy-in from everybody 9 to 12, which has been awesome for me. They've made my job easy. Me and my assistant coaches, we've been preaching, like, we want, like, to the seniors and some of the juniors, like, we want you guys to handle a lot of the in-house stuff. Like, we're kind of trying to set the precedent, and then, like, behind the scenes, we want you guys to be the ones that are like enforcing it and making sure that everybody's on the same page, pulling the rope the same direction. So those seniors have been huge for me. I got a really good group of seniors with a lot of playing experience. It's kind of a different feel from what they've been used to. I think, like I said, I'm trying to set the expectation higher, just build a culture. So I think that they've responded well to that. We've put a lot of hard work, both in off-season workouts and the first couple of weeks of practice here. So I think that just us showing them that we're all in, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. We expect to win. I think that's went a long way for those guys.
We obviously talked about the tough Northeastern A Conference schedule that you guys have, but what are some non-conference games that you guys were able to squeeze into this schedule that that Lakeview fans can look forward to catching this season?
Yeah, we got a nice little non-conference schedule. We got Fitch twice coming up, so those guys are always tough. They always compete, so that'll be some good experience for us. I think those will be two games that help us really prepare for the district. So I'm excited to play them. We got Ursuline twice, so they're always competitive. They got Shannon over there, so great player. They've had a good program over the years. So Ursuline's going to be a good test for us. We got Howland right up the road. That's kind of like a mini rivalry. Just being my first year here, like, I've kind of learned about that early. Just Howland's kind of one that we always like to go get. We also got Champion, who's another one of our rivals. So we're kind of looking forward to that. So like our out of conference is pretty tough, and I think that's going to go a long way getting us ready for the district.
All right. So when you look at you as a coach, this is your first year at Lakeview. Talk about your coaching journey in baseball and kind of what got you to this point and what makes you love the sport so much.
Yeah, so obviously baseball got my whole life. It's been my favorite sport since I was a little kid. I graduated from Niles, and like after I graduated, Mike and TC Gennari over there, they had always been on me about coaching when I was in high school and I was playing for them. So they gave me my start. So I owe a lot of what I know to those guys. They've been awesome to me. They've treated me well. They took me under their wing and got me ready kind of to run my own program and to be where I'm at now. So I owe those guys a lot of credit for getting me ready for where I am today. But I coached 4 years over there. Learned a lot from those guys. Was just constantly picking their brain, learning that style of play. And then I got a couple years of experience down at Scene Park with Class B. So that's been something that again has got me ready to be where I'm at. So I've got to kind of have a relationship with a lot of guys down there and just be able to pick coaches' brains, learn different styles of play, interact with a bunch of different players. So that's kind of what's got me to this point. And this is always being a head coach is always something that I've looked forward to, that I've kind of dreamed about. And I've been telling people, they've been asking me, it's like I feel right at home here at Lakeview. This is exactly where I want to be. Like I've had support from so many people here, and the kids have bought in right away. And I think we got a hungry bunch that's ready to go. So I think it couldn't have worked out any better for me ending up here. And I'm excited to build a program for a long time down the road here.
Just to kind of go a little bit further in depth with that Cortland community, I mean, they're kind of on an island, but we hear a lot about this Cortland community and how hardcore they are for their sports. Just talk about the support that you guys have had too, and just the support Lakeview baseball, it seems like gets in your short experience with it.
Yeah, I got to coach football this year here too, which kind of got me introduced to some of that community love for sports and just the buy-in to the program. So I think that I think that's something we need to establish just as a school and as a community is just having that expectation for winning, and expect nothing but the best out of the kids that we have, out of the families that we have. There's just been so many people that have just been interested in what we're doing and interested in our kids that they buy into our kids. They support the kids. They want the kids to do well. They want us as coaches to do well. So I think a lot of families, there's a lot of tight-knit families here. There's a lot of people that want to see Lakeview be successful. And I think that it's just been huge, just seeing the sport, like whether it's people reaching out to me, people supporting the program, coming out to games. I know we just got off basketball season. Our gym was packed pretty much every week. So there was a lot of people there supporting the basketball program. We had a lot of people supporting the football program in the fall. So I'm hoping that carries over into the spring here. I know we got like a little student section group kind of started here this year at Lakeview. So the student body support has went up, and that's been awesome. It just changes the atmosphere. And I've been on these guys in class saying baseball games, you could really change the atmosphere at a baseball game, because you're not used to seeing a student section at a baseball game. So if we could get some kids out to some baseball games and support these guys, I think that'll help us out.
Biggest boost, it's free.
Yeah, right. It's free. It's easy.
Coach, before we let you go, highlight the people that you've brought on your staff, the people that are going to help build this Lakeview program. I know head coaches can't do it themselves, so talk about the people that are helping you along the way and some of the staff that you've put together.
Yeah, so I'll start off with Dylan Keller. He's a Highland graduate, played Dayton for a couple years, pitcher. He's been he's been huge for me. I was lucky to get him on my staff. I had a relationship with him. I coached him his senior year in high school down at Class B, so that's kind of how I was introduced to Dylan. And then we played together AA league in the summer, so we just built that relationship over a couple years. And I reached out to him early on, and I was just like, hey, would you be interested in coaching with me? He said, absolutely. And he's been here ever since. He's been great with our pitchers so far in developing those guys and getting them ready to be really good pitchers here for the season. Like we've talked about on here already, we got that tough conference schedule to go through. We got some really good out-of-conference games, so we need those guys to be ready to go. And he's developed a lot of depth in our pitching staff, which has been awesome. He's also helped me out with my infielders, and he's been huge in that regard too. Another guy I brought on, Kyle Payton. He's went to Niles with me. He coaches football at Mineral Ridge, basketball at Niles, and now he's here with me coaching baseball. So he does a little bit of everything. He just came on after basketball ended, and he's been huge. It's just nice. He stepped in. He was comfortable right away. So it's been nice having him. He'll work with my outfielders at the varsity level. So just having him on, somebody I'm familiar with, somebody that knows the game, knows what they're talking about, knows how to work with kids. It's been huge. And then I have Dean Shanauer, who is a teacher here at Lakeview as well. He'll be my JV coach, and he's really been huge for me in the off season here. He's been with me every step of the way. As soon as I got hired here as a teacher, he expressed interest in me about coaching with me and joining my staff. So I'm always down in his room picking his brain about like what we're going to do for the day. Like what does he think about this guy? What does he think about that guy? And it's just nice having somebody in the building, somebody who would talk with on a daily basis and kind of playing around like what we want to do for practice that day or what I'm thinking about a lineup and things like that. And then one more guy, DJ Morvan. He's a Lakeview graduate. I played baseball with him in high school down in Class B. He's been a volunteer guy for me. So he's got a tough work schedule, but he's been here with me. He's been here every chance he gets. And he's been good just having somebody in that Lakeview community come back and help out the program, because that's always a sign of success when you have guys that want to come back and want to help out the program. That's huge. So those guys have really helped me out. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now without those guys.
Coach, thank you so much for your time, giving us a little bit of insight into this Lakeview baseball program, as we look forward to covering you all season and hopefully talking to you again real soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome back. That was Coach Cameron Carson of the Lakeview Bulldogs baseball team. Getting a great chance to talk with him a little bit earlier this week. If you missed any of that and you want to see it in its entirety, it is on the site, ysnlive.com. You can go and find it there, or you can find it on our YouTube page as well. Good to see Coach Aaron Pounds giving some love to Coach Carson, two Niles alums, both amazing coaches. This is Coach Carson's first year at Lakeview, but he spent a good amount of time in that Niles baseball program under Coach Canary, which we're going to talk to in a little bit this week. We'll be able to air his interview, I think, tomorrow. So it's going to be a fun year for Lakeview inside that really competitive NE8. Obviously, he brought up, Poland and South Range, usually like the softball side, usually those two are kind of the tops of the league. But this is a year where teams like Lakeview can make their run. I think the NE8 is going to be very interesting on both sides of the diamond, baseball and softball.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, that's always a competitive conference. And from top down, I think every team has a chance too. And we've talked with both Lakeview softball and Lakeview baseball. And you're right, Anthony. I think it's going to be exciting to see what the Bulldogs have in store for them this upcoming season. I think they're a wild card, honestly, in both sides.
Lakeview's big advantage is they're bringing back a lot of experience. There's tons of senior leadership on that team that he talked about. That's big when you're coming into a first year head coaching gig, and you have a bunch of seniors that buy into what you're selling. You can't even put a value on that. As far as not just this year, but the future of the program. Because when the young guys on the team see that the seniors are buying into what the first year coach is selling, then it's really easy to kind of mold into that culture and not take too long to kind of fill in your philosophy there.
Yeah, and it helps when, like Coach Carson said, too, you got a bunch of guys that are willing to come back and help the program. And when you have a lot of guys that are already kind of bought into the program or care about it in some form or fashion, it does certainly help at least lay those foundation bricks to start building that program up. And I think Lakeview's doing a good job with that. I think they have some talent too, especially in the pitching department. They got some arms. It's going to be interesting to see how they compete in this NE8 too. And it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Carson kind of facilitates this team.
They're going to have to find ways to string together hits against really good pitching in the NE8. So I think that'll be their biggest challenge, is trying to string hits together, because obviously not going to see a ton of home runs hit against this pitching in the NE8. So stringing together hits, trying to work the bases and move runners over, it's going to be big for this Lakeview team. You got to find ways to produce runs in kind of the old-fashioned ways of baseball, because you're not going to hit a ton of balls over the fence against this pitching that the NE8 kind of has. So got to find ways to manufacture runs. That was the word I was looking for. You got to find ways to squeak runs in when a team makes an error. You got to take full advantage of it. Their window of success against these other teams in the NE8 is going to be small, but you got to take advantage of them when you get them.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, the pitching in this area anyway is just phenomenal. So you have to go through some great talent anyway to get to the top. And if you want to get to that state title realm, the regional final realm, you're going to have to go through some tough pitching, and iron sharpens iron. And that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get prepped for the tournament.
They are in a brutal district in Division II. Try to even get out of. I mean, they have Salem in there to deal with. Canfield in the baseball realm. I know they're Division I in softball, but Division II in baseball. So your Canfield and Salem are enough. That's just like, okay. But then you have other teams like Howland in there that are gonna make a run of it. Obviously, I can't think of the names of the teams. Sorry, but it's a big district, and there's a lot of good teams. Salem and Canfield are enough. Like that should scare you enough as a district. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
and it'll be a fun season for Lakeview.
Coach DeBar is unfortunately feeling ill too, so we have to postpone his interview. We're going to be looking to reschedule Coach DeBar again to talk with Salem baseball too. I know we were promoting it the last couple of days, and we wanted to say too, it wasn't no conflict of interest or anything like that. Coach DeBar just not feeling well right now, so we're going to look to get him on the show sometime too to preview that Quakers baseball squad. which, I mean, they were the team. They were the team that knocked off the Cardinals last year. That Lane Rhodes pitched a masterful game. He's over at YSU now. But Coach DeBar still has plenty of talent over there with the Quakers.
Yeah, well, we'll look forward to talking to him a little bit later. But today we have Fred Moots coming on live at 1:30, and we still have to play an interview with Anthony Ragazine, the head baseball coach over at Middle Ridge as well. All that and more coming up next on Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coco's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocospizza.com. That's Coco's Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the four words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Remember, they go the extra mile for you. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell as we continue this Tuesday episode. And Ty, some big postseason awards announced out of Louisville yesterday and today. First, let's start with yesterday's big news, and this actually went up as an article on YSN Live as well. Tyler Bolden has been named on the academic All-Ohio list. I mean, this isn't like district or region. This is like 7 kids in Division II in the state of Ohio that get recognized for their hard work in the classroom. And Louisville senior Tyler Bolden has been recognized as one of the members of the All-Ohio All-Academic team for the state. And that's just incredible. 7 people, 7 players in the state in Division II, and you get recognized as one of them. We always ask our players in their interviews about their schoolwork and what their favorite subject is. And I feel like some of our audience just thinks it's like lip service. Like, oh, okay, you got to ask a kid about class, but we all know like you're focused on their athleticism. I mean, when I look back on my high school stuff and I wasn't even an athlete and I didn't take things seriously enough, and I struggled with time management and getting assignments. And it's one of the reasons why my GPA was low during high school. So to imagine being able to do that at that age while playing a sport at a high level and while putting all this dedication into, fixing your craft and making yourself the best player as possible while also putting so much hard work into the classroom. It just blows my mind, because me at 15, I couldn't even decide to do my homework instead of watching TV. But they're doing their homework while they're practicing, while they're, preparing for a game, while they're playing a game out and, 20, 30, 40 minutes away on the bus, doesn't matter. Putting in the work, putting in the studies, and I can't even imagine doing that when I was 15. I don't know about you, but 15-year-old me was not that mature and not that good at time management. So when I see kids put in this amount of work in the classroom, it just blows my mind.
Yeah, and I think his GPA, when I saw it too, was like 4.2.
4.21.
Yeah, 4.2.
It's above 4. Like, what?
Yeah, when you get above 4, that's you're taking honors classes to get that. So I mean, it goes without saying that he's definitely putting in the work, and I mean, a great athlete as well too. So I mean, putting in the work on the hardwood and putting in the work too in the classroom and doing great at both ends. And that's just setting yourself up for success in the future, and you love to see it.
I wonder how much it helps that like his dad is a college coach, so he's around a lot of college athletes, and we know that even their time management gets knocked up a level when they're in college. The dedication and the commitment you're asked to do, especially his dad coaches Division I. So in Division I, when you're coaching college players, those players are asked to almost treat it as a job and to do their schoolwork. So, I mean, he gets to see that a lot growing up. So the standard and the commitment to excellence probably was shown to him at a very early age and probably washed over that brain quite a bit. So it's probably not hard to see what kind of models of excellence he gets in his life.
Yeah, and I mean, if anything, you got to figure he's talking with his dad too, and his dad knows what you need to be successful at the next level too.
To
and
get into college, like his dad saying, "Hey, you got these are the kind of grades I look for when I'm looking at high school kids to recruit. So this is what other colleges that you want to go play for, or you want to go to college. This is what they're going to look for." And I think they're looking 4.21. Is above the bar that most coaches are looking for. It's more a treat to have a kid that's 4.21. But we wanted to, such congratulations to Tyler Bolden for what an amazing honor. Once again, 7 kids in the state of Ohio in Division II were named on the list. So you're one of 7. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, do all that while you help lead your team all the way to a regional final too, as a regional runner-up. I mean, that's a fantastic season, and I mean, that's working hard because basketball season practice starts all the way in October, and I mean, he's maintaining a GPA through pretty much half of the year of playing basketball.
While we're on that subject, by the way, on the girls' side, Emma Dredkie, who I had a chance to broadcast for Maslin Jackson in their game against Howland. One's a great basketball player, one of the best that there is to offer in the state, in my opinion, that I've seen live. But she has the highest GPA in the state of Ohio for the girls all Ohio team. So not like the highest ever, but the highest among girls basketball players, I would assume, in the state of Ohio. 5.13 GPA.
That is just
I didn't even know you could go that high.
above a 5 in a GPA. That is just that's honors classes and just acing. I mean, you pair that too. I mean, I gotta figure that's got to be close to that's valedictorian. Like,
Yeah. I think you think
you're a valedictorian first off, and like as long as she has a good ACT score, like that's
going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. That's any college, like Ivy League, Ivy. It doesn't matter. Like that's any college will take you. If you have an ACT above like 30 with that, they're gonna be like, okay.
And she did it while averaging 15.8 points per game this season and leading Maslin Jackson to the state semifinals.
That's insane. Insane.
So incredible. I know not a YSN athlete, but when you recognize real greatness, you got to kind of stop and appreciate it. And as good of a player as she is, obviously much better a student. 5.13. I'm gonna look. I don't know if any of the boys either have a 5.13 in the state.
When you're getting GPAs in the 5s, though.
No, it's the highest GPA on the boys' side. Is up in Division 1. It's actually the first name on the list, Gabe Phillips from Beaver Creek, 4.47, which is impressive. Like, we're not knocking it, but 5.13, that's unreal.
I don't even know how you achieve that, and I mean the amount of work that you're putting into that—that's unbelievable.
Some kind of sorcery is going on there. That's like two. Like they say, a 4.0 is an A. What's a 5.0? A plus plus.
Yeah, I mean, you said you had to work hard at South Range to get an A. I think she's over here like 5.0 GPA.
I don't know what the grade scale is at Maslin Jackson, but South Range, it was 94 to 100 is an A, which was mind blowing.
She's like 100 is a B.
Right.
Hundreds are B's. I need to get 110.
Insane. Yeah, that interesting story, because I went through high school with a 94 to 100 being an A, and I remember my first test in college, I got a 92, and when I saw the 92, I was like, dang, I missed an A. And then I remembered, wait a minute, everywhere else on the planet, 90 to 100 is an A. So I got an A, and I was like, oh, yeah, cool.
On the planet.
It tricked me.
He's like, thanks, South Range.
For raising my standards and making me want a 94 for an A. I didn't get too many of them at South Range.
My GPA was so low.
I didn't get too many of them at South Range, but when I did, they were above that 94 realm. Now my GPA was like it was above 2.5, so it wasn't like historically low, but it wasn't.
It would have been probably a lot better if the grading scales were 90 to 100.
I don't think it would have, because I didn't get a lot of B's either. I think it was like 2.76 or something like that in high school. Got a lot better in college. I got up to like 3.6, but
a lot of people do too with college, because then you realize too you can't half-ass it too.
I wasn't a good high school role model. Don't if you're watching Running Point as an athlete, don't look at my academic skills in high school and think that it's a way to do things, because like I said, I put a lot of things ahead of doing my work that probably shouldn't have been doing in high school. Nothing bad. It's stuff that I shouldn't have been doing instead of homework. Oh, yeah, this show's on. I gotta watch it. Oh, this sporting event's on. I gotta watch it. Nah, I'll do my homework later. Never did it.
Became a Chiefs and a Georgia Tech fan instead of a good.
Oh, back then watching the Chiefs
that follows though.
That was the Charlie Thigpen era of Chiefs football. Not fun. Charlie Thigpen, and then he was replaced by Matt Castle.
So you were watching Tech.
Tech had Calvin Johnson. That was fun.
Yeah, you were watching Tech.
And that triple option when it was in its heyday, that was fun too. Went to the Orange Bowl. It was fun times. Fun times. Chiefs, not so much. I think we went to the playoffs once while I was in high school.
Yeah, and then the Royals
got our butt kicked by the Ravens, I think.
The Royals too.
Royals. I had to wait until college for that one. I was always me and my buddy and one of my closest friends in high school. He was a big baseball fan, big Pirates fan. He was always joking like, one of these days, Anthony, the Royals and the Pirates are going to be in the World Series, and we're going to love it. And I remember the year that the Royals went to the World Series, the Pirates were also in the playoffs. We were texting each other like crazy, like, "Oh my God, we were just joking," crazy things. And then we got Cueto the next year and won the World Series.
Georgia Tech sold their soul to never get success again for a Kansas City World Series and a Chiefs Super Bowl, Anthony.
Hey, no, I don't think so. I don't think
Georgia Tech.
I mean, we won the ACC last year in basketball. That was exciting. There's still exciting times in Georgia Tech.
Tech football, I guess I meant. Georgia Tech sold their soul to never be successful for your lifetime again, Anthony.
Well, they weren't a successful team when they had Calvin Johnson. They didn't really do anything special. They won like 6 or 7 games, but hey, whatever. I became a Georgia Tech fan because their basketball team made it to the championship game in 2004.
That's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, it started out as a bandwagon fan. I won't shy away from it. But it didn't. I obviously didn't hop off the bandwagon when they started to suck.
Well, yeah.
So
you got to suffer internal damnation for Tech sports.
Emotional damage.
You got the Super Bowl and you got the World Series. You got to witness both of them.
I'm hoping for a Georgia Tech baseball College World Series championship this year because that baseball team is good this season. Top 10 in the country right now. Just swept Virginia Tech over the weekend. Like, let's go baseball. Always a baseball school. Shout out to Mark Teixeira and our own Aaron Walker, who went to East Palestine and went to Georgia Tech for baseball as well. Made the good choice.
The good choice.
Got one of those engineering degrees that 1, 2, and 5 Georgia Tech alums earns $1 million. So maybe in his lifetime he'll get into that 2 out of 5.
The villain, Anthony Hartwig.
The villain.
Where's Georgia Tech here when we have Devin Sherwood on going to Virginia?
In my defense, that news was announced way after I'd already gotten dressed and gotten into the studio. There was no room to change. I was like,
you should have turned the shirt around.
I had a Tech backwards. I had a Tech hat.
Wear it backwards too.
I had a bumblebee on the back. Like there was no. I would have had to
wear it sideways.
I would have done that.
Like a 13-year-old.
What's up, Devin?
With a backwards shirt. Interviewing Devin Sherwood.
Just to avoid the Georgia Tech logo being up while he was being interviewed. I'm sorry I didn't do that. My bad.
That is your bad, Anthony.
That's totally my bad. Here's DJ. What's he got to say now?
Did you just shout out Mark Teixeira?
Yeah, I shouted out Mark Teixeira. Go
Mark
check.
Teixeira. Now you're gonna get the YouTube troll Mark Teixeira. That's gonna come
exactly. And I want Danny Hall. Give me Danny Hall, YouTube troll. Forget Jeff Collins. Just forgot our football coach's name real quick. Forget Jeff Collins.
Yeah, Jeff hasn't tuned in a while.
I know he hasn't tuned in a while. Give me Danny Hall.
You were getting a chance to talk with the Tech football coach for a while there, Anthony. I know you were getting
bring
excited.
back some softball players.
You did. You had some athletes come on before too, didn't we?
We did. We had Bailey Zeitler come in from the softball
for
team.
Sure. That's exactly who that was.
So exactly, Z. What's up, Z? Second base for the softball team.
Did they ever get back to you after they?
No, the coach retweeted it, but I don't know if it was her or not. Probably not, but
They
the coach
retweeted.
retweeted.
I was wondering if it got comments or it got any traction.
No, I didn't get any confirmations whether or not it was actually Bailey or not. But
that would have been. I mean, it's odd because it's like it's not out of the realm of possibility that they were just like tuning in and they threw a comment on.
You're friends of mine.
Well,
I'm gonna text the Georgia Tech team in this.
Yeah, there you go, Ann. That's yep. That's the comment you want. Vor Red by Bezop Shobes.
What?
That's what our if that's not our comments, and we get Jeff Collins, we get Joe Gatto, we get Sal Volcano, we get Impractical Jokers,
and then we get EJ Yoakley Folkley.
Yeah, DJ Yoakley Folkley, the 73rd,
the 75th, and Anthony Hartwig, the 90th. Is that what it was?
Anthony Hartwig with a lowercase h.
Back to some other postseason awards in Louisville as we get this show way back on track. This morning it was announced that in District 4, Jeff Kudo has been named the Coach of the Year in District 4 for girls basketball, and his assistant, Brian Layton, was named the D1 Assistant Coach of the Year in District 4 as well. And that is Coaches Association voted. So that means that Kudo's peers have voted him Coach of the Year. It's not media-based. The media is the geographical district, and the numerical district is obviously the media-based one. So if you see like the Northeast Inland District team or the District Coach of the Year, that is media voted on, and the numerical districts are coaches. Let's clear that up.
It's almost like a movie, from getting a call on a golf course a couple weeks before the season to winning Coach of the Year in the district. It's like Coach Kudo stepped right back into that role and did not miss a beat the whole season.
He messed around and won Coach of the Year. Like
he came back and just won Coach of the Year real quick.
Hold my Gatorade real quick.
He's like, I could give up golf for the rest of the season.
It's about to get cold anyway.
And he just went out one Coach of the Year before it warms up again.
Wouldn't it be funny? Like, it's pretty warm. Wouldn't it be funny if he was on the golf course like today and he got a call like, "Hey, you're Coach of the Year"?
It's like nice.
That's one of the ones where you hit it and you drop your club. It's that good of a hit.
It's like, yep,
I did that. No, he's a great, humble guy. So I know he takes this honor with stride, and he'll put all the confidence and all the praise onto his team that had a remarkable season, improved their win record by, I believe, 10 games from last year to this year. 8 wins last year, 18 wins this year. The early exit in the tournament does not diminish what kind of season and what kind of turnaround and Coach Kudo took that program on, and now it's heading very fast in the right direction.
We have all 4 of the seniors that were on that squad's 2 interviews on our site and our YouTube page, and all 4 of them talked about Coach Kudo and in great regard too, and how much he was influential in their year this year, I guess their senior year, and just beyond the sport of basketball and life lessons taught too. He obviously had an impact on all 4 of them, and it's great stuff to see too. And just to see that he came back and he was able to help influence these girls beyond the sport. It's nice to see.
And you got to talk to him a couple of times as well as part of post-game interviews, and I believe a coach's corner.
Yeah, and I mean, Coach Kudo is a great guy, absolutely. And I think you've had a chance too to do post games with him as well, Anthony. And I mean, the one thing you could say about him, I mean, just the supreme confidence that he has in not only the program but in just every girl that goes through that program is absolutely it's nice to see. Actually, is I guess the way to put it is just because you see that he has confidence in every single one that's on that team, and no matter what their role is, he has the confidence in them being able to execute that role, and he trusts his players so much. And I mean, the trust and chemistry factor that we've seen, it went up so much in that Louisville team, and that program was just so much fun to watch this season.
What do you think, Ty? A public NCAA bracket group? You
Sure.
can try to test your skills against the quote unquote experts of YSN.
Yeah, sure. We
Let's
could
do it, man. Like if you beat Anthony, you get a Running Point T-shirt. Even though we don't have Running Point T-shirts, I shouldn't even.
I've been beating Anthony in every challenge we've had this entire year. It's not that hard to beat Anthony.
Shut up. You've smoked me and everything, but I'm gonna beat you in this bracket.
You might beat me baseball, softball season too, and you might beat me in this bracket. But
hey, we
this
have a new point
the
system.
last basketball thing you have to try to get me on, Anthony, because I have wiped the board with you on this basketball season.
We have a new point system for baseball, softball picks, so maybe I'll get the win.
Yeah, I like that idea of what we're gonna do for the baseball, softball too, and I don't know, was it you or me? I don't know. I don't remember who came up with the idea.
You actually came up with it, which I was like, oh, cool. But
And we're gonna
it makes
do
sense because so what we said was when you get the answer right, the run differential is the points you get. So if you pick just for example, let's say you pick Hubbard to beat Girard one night and they beat them 5-2, then you get 3 points for that win. And then if someone beats the team like 6-5, then you get 1 point. Therefore, you won that draw. If there were only 2 games that night,
but if one of us is wrong and there's a blowout and it's like 12-0, that's 12 points for you.
It makes you. It's almost like the confident points in that bowl mania game that ESPN has, where you put points on a game. So it's like, hey, I think I am most confident that so and so will win, so I'm going to pick them. Now it doesn't matter how much they win by in that bowl mania thing, but you still put a point value to that game. So if you get that game right, you score 35 points. So,
but it'll be
not exactly that, but I kind of like the idea because I lost so many 1 point, 2 point, 1 possession games in basketball that was just driving me nuts.
Yeah, and I mean it'll definitely help. Basketball would have been interesting to implement this, and we might have to do that next.
That would have been a lot of math. Like someone beats a team by 25, and you're sitting there like, "Well, I just got 25 points." Like, there's not going to be a whole
scores would be in the thousands at the end of the season.
It's still going to be pretty simple addition in baseball, softball. I think. I don't think we're going to see a lot of teams beat each other up like 23-2. Hopefully.
Yeah. At least a lot of our teams, but there might be some instances too where I'm waiting for it to happen where we're gonna split and one of us is gonna pick a team that loses, and it's gonna be just one of those nights where the baseball's the size of a beach ball to the batter's eyes, and they're just gonna be teeing off on pitching, and it's gonna be like a 9-0 or a 12-2 game or something like that.
Speaking of baseball, we have another interview to get to. We'll have Fred Moots live at 1:30, but before we get to that, Ty, you got the chance to speak with Anthony Ragazine, the head coach of the Middle Ridge Rams. We're going to play your conversation with him now, and if you miss any of it or you want to see it again, it is also on the website at ysnlive.com. But here is the conversation that you had with Anthony Ragazine, the head coach of the Middle Ridge Rams baseball team.
Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartel in with a coach's corner as we venture into the scarlet side of the MVAC. And it is Anthony Ragazine of the Mineral Ridge Rams. And Coach, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm doing well, and I'm sure you're doing well. Weather warming up, season right around the corner, and I mean, excitement swirling. First and foremost, Coach, what we like to do, we always want to start off with a Meet the Team segment. So I want to give you the floor now to kind of give us the names that are going to turn some heads in Ram country and some new names that are going to be exciting to watch this year as well.
Yeah, so we have 6 seniors on the varsity baseball team this year. 5 of them are returning lettermen, which is really going to help anchor our team this year. Coming back is Kyle Bickerstaff. Last year he hit 490, I believe. Another one, he plays first base, pitches. He's one of our top pitchers. Mark Bunch, another great arm. He plays center, first, pitches for us. He swings a bat like I've never seen before. So I think he hit 450 last year. Peyton Zupko, another one, plays third. He can pretty much play anywhere. He pitches as well. So Ty Tamburo, another pitcher for us, starting shortstop. So we have 4 really good arms. Hopefully, in this tough conference that we're in, that'll help pave the way for success. And then you have Aaron Myers, returning senior, and Zach James coming out for the first time this year. Super smart kid, picks up on the game well. Unbelievable athlete, was the starting point guard for the basketball team. So he's going to really help us a lot along the way too. And then after that, we are loaded with sophomores and freshmen. So there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to have to come up and step up, and we're starting to see who can. So that's going to be the success to the season. Really is these young guys and these seniors helping carry these young guys along throughout that varsity season.
And talking about that too, I mean, Mineral Ridge is a program that is pretty well known to a baseball community wise, and it seems like a lot of people in the MVAC, they talk about Mineral Ridge. So just take me into that community and everything, and take me into it, and tell me why it's so special for these community members for this baseball team, because it seems like you guys get great support year in and year out.
Oh, every year, it's unbelievable. This is mine and my staff's first year there, and so far everybody's gone above and beyond to give us everything that we need to help these guys to put a good product out on the field. So, I mean, the school's gone out. Anything we've needed that they didn't have, they went out and got for us. The community, Little League, they're behind us. I'm in communication with them quite a bit about, like kid camps and getting those kids more involved with our program and kind of having the high school kids kind of give back to the kids, because those young kids really look up to the high school kids. So, I mean, there's so much support in the community. It really is unbelievable. And then you have, like I said, Little League. I think he said 200 kids signed up for Little League. So the numbers in the Little League program are off the charts as well. So hopefully that keeps carrying on, because baseball around the valley, you look at some Little Leagues and their numbers are down and theirs seem to be picking up. So that should help the program too along the way.
Kind of going into that some more, just shout out some of those assistants and some of those other big names inside this program. I mean, you talk about taking over 1 year, but I mean, still getting numbers. There's something that these kids are buying into, and they want to play baseball in the community. So to shout out some of those other names that are really helping keep the youth interest vested.
Yeah, so the Little League, the president is Aaron Wallace, and I think he's been in the area for a while. He moved up here. He seemed to have really have these kids buying into what baseball is about. He's doing things the right way. And then assistant wise on us, we came from McDonald. All those guys came with me. So it's me, Bill Lift, Ray Lewis, and Jeff Ozie. And we've been coaching together for the last 7 years. So we know each other real well. And that kind of helps take pressure off me and those other guys. We all kind of know what we expect from each other and what we expect from the players. So it's nice having those same 4 voices. If you're not around or you're helping out doing something else, those guys are preaching the same stuff as you.
When you're going into your first year too, you're trying to set a culture here for Mineral Ridge, and competing in this tough conference. That's going to obviously be tough to do, but I mean, iron sharpens iron. So what is this culture you're trying to set with Mineral Ridge, and what do you want it to mean to be a Ram?
So this year was the first, like I said, first year there. So we kind of implemented things that we've done in the past. Like I come from the Niles McKinley program. That's where I played. That's where I started coaching. So we kind of implemented a weightlifting program there, brought that to McDonald when we were there. And we're at Mineral Ridge, and it's the same thing. These guys, athletes are made in the weight room, and the seniors, they were 100% bought in all through the winter. We started lifting the second week of November, and they were all in the whole way. So just bringing that and just playing hard. That's the game. You just want to play hard every play. Hustle, do the right things, and everything will fall into place. And that's kind of the mentality we're trying to bring there, because there's a ton of talent in Ridge, and I know they haven't had the best seasons lately. And that's what we're hoping to change.
I mean, the tough conferences that you guys are going to be playing in too. I mean, let's just shout out this schedule that you're going to have out in front of you too. I mean, you play in the MVAC Scarlet. You got the likes of Reserve and Milton and Waterloo, Lowville, all kinds of great teams in there. Talk about playing in that kind of conference and some non-conference games you're excited for your guys to have a chance to compete with this season.
Yeah, so obviously it's a tough conference. I mean, year in and year out, Springfield is usually the team to beat. Jackson, Milton, they always have really good arms. They're well coached. Western Reserve is another one. McDonald's going to be good. It's just every day you have to show up and play. And then non-conference wise, I mean, we have Garfield, East Palestine, Crestview, Columbiana, Heartland Christian's another good school, and then Niles. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough grind, but that's what you want when you're heading into the tournament. You know, you want to play this competition so your guys are ready when the tough times come in the tournament, because that's a tough grind, you know, and to be successful, you have to play those bigger schools, those and get that competition kind of get them used to it, you know. So I mean, our schedule's tough. It's never going to get easy.
You're a newer face to Mineral Ridge, but you said too, not a new face to coaching, but in all your years of coaching and obviously playing time before, what's the biggest thing you've learned from player to coach? And I guess another question that would be good is, what would Coach Ragazine tell player Anthony Ragazine?
Just kind of, that's a good question. Just kind of live in the moment. Don't let your emotions take control of you. You know, it's an emotional game, but you have to be able to control that. You know, if you're on the pitching mound and things aren't going your way, you just can't lose control of that. You have to be able to control yourself and kind of stay even keel throughout the whole game, and the season, really, because you're going to have really high moments and you're going to have really low moments during a season, during a game, and you just kind of got to stay even keel and not get too high on the too high hopes and down in the dumps, because baseball it's a tough game to play. You're gonna have success and you're gonna have your struggles. You just kind of have to keep on that plane and ride it out, and success will come that way.
I think no doubt too. We know baseball is one of those sports too, where year to year you can see some of the most tremendous growth in a player too. Talk to me a little bit about the growth that you've seen too from these players too. Obviously, you've had a chance you've seen film on them. You know of what you're coming back from this year. What have you seen growth wise from some of the younger players and the returning players?
So the seniors, maturity factor. They've matured quite a bit, even since November. You know, they didn't know me. I really didn't know them. Like, I knew Ty Tamburo from when we were at McDonald's, so we kind of had a relationship from that. But those other guys, you know, they didn't really know me. And gradually, you know, as time went on, we're tight knit. You know, we say we're a family because we are. You know, you're with each other. You're playing 22 games in 30 days. You're practicing 6 days a week. You know, you're with each other a lot. So you're going to have your tough times and your good times. But, you know, we just preach family. And those older guys, you can see the growth, like on pitching wise, and them learning what they're doing wrong. And you don't even have to coach them on it. They're just picking up on it from what you've told them previously. And the young guys too, it's just getting more at bats. And I mean, we have, like I said, we had 19 kids out. We have 13 sophomores and freshmen. So those guys just getting used to seeing varsity pitching and stuff like that. And you could see them starting to grow on that. They haven't seen really a good curveball until now, and somebody throwing hard till now. So they're starting to kind of get their feet wet and grow on that. And they're getting better with their swings and seeing that stuff. So it's positives, you know, and just pitchers too, the learning, like the young kids just learning mechanically how to pitch the right way and how to throw curveballs the right way. So you're seeing it every day. They're getting better and better.
Where does this love for coaching originate, and what kind of keeps you coming back to it year in and year out and wanting to keep on doing this?
Yeah, so I mean, I played high school baseball. I had an opportunity to play college. Decided I didn't want to do that, and you know, that following year I kind of regretted it. So I got a hold of Mike and Harry Niles because TC and him were my coaches there, and he pulled me along, said, "Yeah, let's go. You know, come on the staff." And I just wanted to help kids progress, get better at the game, learn the game. I mean, I like giving back to the kids. I think it's an unselfish thing to do, and that's what it's about. I'm doing it for the kids. I don't do it for me. I just like to see kids get better at the game of baseball, the game that we all love. That's why we're playing it. So, I mean, that's the reason that I did it, and that's the reason I've been doing it for the last 14 years.
I mean, there's no doubt then, too, with the amount of coaching that you've done in the area and around different schools, as well as I do, no two teams are the same year in and year out. Yeah. So going into this season, what do you think about this particular team is going to be so unique about the way that you're going to coach them?
I think our pitching is definitely our strongest point on the team. Like I said, we have four returning pitchers from last year, and they're 4 really, really good pitchers. So you have weeks where we're going to play 4 conference games, and we got the horses for it. So I think that's going to be our strongest aspect of the season, is just the way we pitch. And I really think that with the 4 guys we got, we can make some noise in the conference.
Coach, before we let you go, a question I want to give for you, and it's one we actually ask a lot of our students, but I like extending the same question to our coaches, because I think it's important to see for the students aspect the same side for the coaches. What is it that motivates you, or when you're having those down days, or when things don't seem to be going right? What do you use to motivate you, either through the sport of baseball or even just through life?
Yeah, I mean, tough times they come and go. I mean, that's part of life. Nothing in life is easy. Nothing's given to you. You can't let those times bring you down. You just got to kind of grind through them, keep grinding, and hopefully at the end of that, something positive comes out of it.
Anthony Ragazine of the Mineral Ridge Rams Baseball Club. They're going to be competing in that tough Scarlet MVAC conference. You could catch them on ysnlive.com. As Coach, I'm sure we're going to be talking to you again multiple times throughout the season, and we hope to have you on the show again real soon.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
That was Anthony Ragazine, the head coach of the Mineral Ridge Rams. Great conversation with Ty Bartell. If you missed any of it and you want to watch it in its entirety, it is on ysnlive.com. You can head over there and see it. You can also head over to our YouTube and see it there as well in its full entirety. Great conversation with Coach Ragazine. We're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we should be getting ready for Fred Moots, the head coach of the softball team over at Boardman. So this is Ysn's Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Back in a bit.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense, to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
It's storm season.
I think we're under the gun for some heavy storms over the next couple of hours.
And Storm Tracker 21 is ready.
This is probably the one we're keeping a closer eye on.
On air.
And locally, we're going to have a lot of eyes on our area.
Online.
All right, let's talk high-risk futurecast and the timing of this weather.
On social media and on our app.
Notice we'll have scattered showers on Thursday.
Stay ready with Storm Tracker 21.
The severe weather threat now through around sunset this evening.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
Welcome back to Running Point on YSN, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartell. as we continue this Tuesday episode of Running Point. Ty, we are so close to talking to Fred Moots, the head coach of the Boardman softball team. Excited to talk to him. I think we're going to talk a lot about Maddie Lester, who is one of the best returning pitchers in the area, bar none, and that's going to make Boardman really tough to deal with.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, it's going to be exciting seeing how they're going to compete inside that AAC. I mean, there's a lot of great teams on the softball side too. So no doubt Fred Moots is going to be fun to talk to, how he's going to get his girls prepared.
Let's talk to the man himself. Coach, how are we doing today?
Good, guys. How you doing?
We're doing great. We're doing so fantastic, and we are so happy that you were able to join us today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Coach, like we like to do with all our area coaches, we always start off with a sort of meet the team segment. So shout out the returning players you got this season, as well as some younger players that you think might turn some heads this year.
Well, actually, I got a pretty unique situation. Unlike probably most teams in the Tri-County area, I have 10 seniors this year, and 9 of them are returning lettermen. So, we're led obviously in the circle by Madison Lester. Madison was first team all league her first 2 years pitching. Obviously lost the COVID year, so more than likely she'd have been first team all 3 year. And then at shortstop, our captain on the defense, Jenna Alexa, same thing, first team all league her first 2 years. Both girls honorable mention all district. And then also I have Dana Haas. These 3 girls actually probably would have been 3-year starters as freshmen. So they've carried the load for us here defensively for the most part. But also, I had Nadia Rwana, another senior who played absolutely amazing at second base and third base for me last year. We have Cassie Bryan. She'll be a first baseman. Sophia Hoffman, who led my outfield out in center field, and then we have a couple other girls here that are just nice role players that will have the opportunity to win a starting spot here. Every day is an interview, I tell them, and every day is a new day. It's a new tryout. So, go out there and win it. With 10 seniors, it's tough, but you got to go out there and you got to earn the spot. I got a couple of juniors this year that will play a pivotal part in Cami Goski and Madison Dredkie. Natalie Davis, unfortunately, would have been probably my number 2 pitcher coming in this year. Had a great year last year, had a great summer. Unfortunately, tore her ACL during basketball and MCL. So it's unfortunate for Natalie, but she's in good spirits, and, we're going to be behind her this year. Hopefully she can come back next year, which I know she will, and lead us as a senior. And then, Madison Weimer, we're young at catcher. Madison caught a little bit for me last year, but she's a sophomore. But, she's going to catch a ton of innings this year. So, we're going to lean on her a lot. And then, I have a very, very good freshman in Tori Strines coming in. She's also going to play varsity for us. Tori is a extremely hard worker, kind of flies under the radar. I know there's a lot of other young girls on other teams in the area that people talk about more than Tori, but let me tell you, this girl is a very, very good player, and she's going to be a very good player for many years to come.
Coach, obviously, when people talk about your team and returning, it's all going to start in the circle with Maddie Lester. And obviously, not just a pitcher, but she hits pretty well. And when she's not pitching, she's a pretty good infielder. Talk about what you expect growth-wise from her from last year to this year, and what you expect to see to even be better and improving from her this year in the circle.
Well, I think Maddie last year had some ups and downs at times, but, she really, really finished the season strong. She pitched a phenomenal sectional championship game against a very good Mentor team. Then, unfortunately, we lost to a very good Hoover team, but, Maddie kept us in that game for the first few, 4 or 5 innings. You got to hit the ball. I mean, you got to score runs. You can't put so much pressure on your pitchers always to, go out there and be perfect. But Maddie, this year, I think coming into this year, she feels really well. She feels the healthiest she's been. And, we scrimmaged this past Saturday against 2 really good teams indoors, Medina Highland and a team that we scrimmaged last year that we did not scrimmage well against. And Chardon, another really good team that we played last year. We had to walk it off against some very, very good team. And we gave up 3 runs in 2 games to both teams. So, Maddie, I think this is, like I said, the healthiest she's been, and I think she's going to come on. She's going to have a great year. Obviously, she's headed to Cal U, Division II school up in Pittsburgh, and I know Maddie wants nothing more than to finish out her senior year strong, and help this team win a lot of games.
Coach, talk about faring in this very tough AAC conference. I think all viable programs and all 5 teams are tough year to year and all can't be counted out in any game. Talk about competing in that and what it's going to take to get a piece of that crown this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's as tough as it gets. Obviously Fitch still the top dog. They've won it the last couple of years. Obviously we split with them, twice, but to win this conference, you really got to go out and you have to play almost perfect every time you go out. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Last year we got swept by Canfield. I mean, they flew under the radar last year. They got another great pitcher, Melina Toth. Obviously, Howland will be another team this year that is much improved. A lot of young talent coming in at Howland. So you're right. This conference itself is just it's tough. I mean, you got to go in and you got to play. We come right out of the gate. Game 1 and 2 is against Howland. So last year we beat them twice, but the second game very competitive. And like I said, Howland has gotten much improved this year. They're going to be a tough out. There's not one game in this conference that's easy. So like I tell these girls, you do really got to play perfect against these teams in conference to be able to win that crown. But we're just as good, in my opinion, as any one of them. So we're going to go out and we're going to compete hard for it.
Coach, we talked about your team in the circle, but let's talk about your lineup. It's hard to pitch too because you got different players that can do different things. I know Dana Haas last year was great at the top of the order, getting on base, and then obviously Jenna Alexa probably hits the ball harder than anyone that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
the sound that her contact makes when she squares up a ball. She's got a lot of power in her bat. So you got a good mix in this lineup. What do you expect out of your offense this year?
Well, actually Saturday we first game against Medina, we hit the ball. I mean, we scored 4 runs. But we should have scored 8. We were smoking the ball, and that's key. I tell them it's great if we can go out and hit 400 as a team, and you're going to win a lot of games. But odds are you're not. There's so much good pitching in this area, and our in-conference and out-of-conference schedules are very tough. So control the controllables. Go out, execute the small ball stuff. Move runners, even at 0-2 in a count, put a ball in play. Make things happen. And I think they're buying into that more. Sometimes. Early on when they were younger, a few of these girls, they put so much pressure on themselves to have to succeed in the moment, have to come up and hit a 2-out double or hit 1 out. And, just don't do that. We have a lot of depth in this offense. We have a lot of girls with, like you said, that the top of the order with some speed, and we also mix in some power. Nadia Rwana, very great on base percentage. She has an unbelievable eye at the plate, walks a ton for us. So Sophia Hoffman, another one that's hard to strike out. She's going to put balls in play. Very good at getting balls down, and even my sophomore Maddie Weimer, she's young but big power for a little girl, and she can go out there and and she again same thing, does not strike out a lot, puts the ball in play. So that's what's key. Just do your job, and sometimes it may only be a ground out, but that ground out may lead to a win. So just do your job, control what you can.
Coach, we talked about the AAC being a tough conference, but again, only 5 teams inside the conference, so it does allow a little bit of room for non-conference scheduling too. So talk about some of those matchups that you're excited for the girls to be able to compete against this season.
Well, I mean, this year, like every year that I've been here, me and my athletic director know that, it's about scheduling up. You cannot you can't play teams and be ready for the tournament if you schedule down. So, and I didn't get into this to win 200, 300 games. I got in this to make a run. And so obviously we're playing the likes of Poland twice, Hubbard. We know Hubbard's loaded. We had a great game with them last year. We had to walk it off against Hubbard last year. Maslin Jackson, we know the pedigree there. An Aurora team who we played last year in a doubleheader. And again, a lower division team, but very, very good team. They have a couple of girls that play on big time travel teams up there. Twinsburg, another, team that's always relevant. West Branch, every year she puts, everyone says West Branch is down or whatever, and she puts out a team that just goes out and competes game in and game out. So it's a credit to her as a coach. And then Champion, another, obviously we know Champion. We don't have to discuss much about Champion. Again, it's about scheduling up. But now we're going to Florida for spring break, and we actually scheduled some really tough teams down there. And again, it was the same thing. We're not going to travel all the way to Florida to not schedule up. And we're playing 3 teams down there right now that are really, really good. Tampa Catholic, Parish Community, and Inspiration Academy. These are 3 teams that over the past 3 years have just been unbelievable in the Florida area. So, again, same thing. We want to schedule up, and that's what it's about, so we're ready for tournament time.
The other thing about going down to Florida, other than the great competition you're going to play, it gives a great opportunity for team bonding and being able to build team chemistry. How excited are you to kind of see that kind of develop with this team? That, like you said, a lot of people are returning from last year, so these girls obviously know each other so well, and now they get to build relationships even further with a trip to Florida.
Yeah, and I mean, we've done it, in the past. I mean, even my daughter played. They've gone to Myrtle. My first year, we went to Myrtle. Obviously, with the COVID years, it's been, we weren't able to do that. But you're right. That's exactly what this is about. We stay together. The girls stay together. They stay, 4 to a room, and you're able to develop these bonds. I have 10 seniors that, like you said, they're very tight. They're a tight-knit group, but I also have 7 new freshmen, these girls who are looking up to these girls for guidance and leadership. And it's about bonding and having that time to where you get to really, know each other on and off the softball field, obviously. So, and also the weather helps because you're playing down there too. Whereas unfortunately, sometimes here with the weather, you're not always playing, but yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good learning experience for us, and like I said, I'm really looking forward to it.
Coach, we always like to make sure all of our coaches get highlighted throughout the season, but we also know our coaches wouldn't be anything without the staffs that they put around them too. So shout out those proponents on your assistants, as well as just some other big proponents inside the Boardman softball program. Yeah,
I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm only as good as my assistants around me. My assistant this year is Lauren Gabriel. Lauren played for Boardman, was a heck of a player, graduated a few years ago, and she went to Mount Union to actually play basketball. But Lauren's been with me since day one. She was on my JV staff. She coached down there. And my assistant that I've had for a couple of years in Lindsay Bates. Lindsay's going to go down the JVs this year to help down there. And then I hired Bernie Bola. Bernie's a local guy. Many people know Bernie coaches basketball for several years, different schools. Bernie also very good addition to my staff. And, I have a lot of people, behind the scenes that help with Boardman softball over the years and help build the program. Dave Matz, a good friend of mine who's helped with our youth program. And, he's helped with the girls, even at the high school level. We started Boardman Community Baseball is where all this starts. And so we have to have that good relationship there. And without that, it's nothing. These girls have to have that foundation. We run a camp at Boardman Community Baseball, or at Sluggers for Boardman Community Baseball, and Bill Ambrose is a big part in that for us. So, we're able to build the program from the ground up, and that's where we're supposed to be. And I could tell you that I know my best 9 and 10-year-olds in Boardman, and that's the way it should be, because if you're not doing that, you're not doing your job. And if I plan on being here for years, then that's how it's built from the ground up.
Coach, we know that your home facility is one of the best in the area, and you just got a new scoreboard, I believe. I think your parents were out there putting it up in
yes.
Snowy, cold weather. The dedication was unreal. Talk about this home field advantage that you have and what a blessing it is to play in such a nice facility.
Well, it is. And let me tell you, this facility over the years has really been built on the parents, on the backs of parents, and the raising the money of parents. So I have an amazing club, Our Lady Spartan Fast Pitch Club, led by our president, Candy Rivera. It's absolutely amazing. They've done so many, great things over the years. We have, call me biased, call me what you want. We have the best club at Morvan. We've raised a ton of money to give back to the girls. The girls have the best swag gear and stuff. And, they're part of them going to Florida is through monies we raised through the club, and also, like you said, to put up a great scoreboard, which by the way will don the YSN. Also, thank you YSN and DJ for that. It's great, and every year we've made improvements, and we're trying every year to make it a little bit better. I don't know how much of a home field advantage it was. We didn't have farewell last year at home in many games, but hopefully this year will be a little better. But yeah, it's my parents are great. They really are, and they really work hard. I had 2 dads in my off season that put a lot of work in to make us a lot better as well.
To be fair, Coach, you had a lot of unbelievable defensive plays not go your way at home last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Some just amazing plays at the wall. It's like your field invited great defense from other teams.
Yeah, that champion game is one that will haunt me for quite a while. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, that happens, and that's part of the game. And you're going to have those go your way, and sometimes not. And it's adversity, and you got to build on it, and you got to learn from it and move forward. That's all you can do.
Coach, let's talk about this program that has these parents surrounding it. I know you were shouting them out a little bit, but I mean, just how influential is that to a program's success, having parents and a community that's so bought in, that's there to support at the games, and then go the step further and supporting in other ways that they can?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's my alma mater. It's where I want to be. People always say, if you ever if you stop coaching at Morvan, would you ever coach somewhere else? I don't know. I don't know that I could. I mean, it's everything I've ever wanted in, being my school, my community. I love my girls. I love my parents. They're great. And again, without them, I'm really nothing. I mean, these girls put the work in. They go out there. They run the bases. They hit the ball. I try to put them in good positions the best I can. And, some days I coach well, some days I don't. But, this community is amazing. I mean, we had our night at the races here a few weeks ago. And over the years, we've had donated food, what have you. This year, it was almost the entire food was donated, and the drinks from just the community, from BW3s, who are absolutely amazing to us, and, BJ's and Gia Russo. I can go on and on, from Coco's Pizza, Belleria and Boardman. There's so many great community or local businesses that have supported us, not only just in softball, obviously other sports, but yeah, I mean it's amazing. I love everything about Boardman, and I obviously reside here, and I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So,
DJ, giving a shout out to your curtains back there. I mean, you're really, really bleeding the colors.
Is that what he's? Oh yeah, the maroon curtain. That's right. Oh, I like. Okay, yeah, he's right, D. That's right, DJ. That's all about maroon and white. Got my gray on today, but I'm the maroon and white.
Talk about setting up the interview. I mean, the only thing missing is the Boardman Spartan logo in the background, making an official press conference.
That might come next time. Yeah, that might come next time.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for joining us. I mean, to get real, we know that you're going through a tough time right now with the loss in your family. From everyone at YSN, DJ, me, Ty, we were thinking about you. We love you. We love the support that you give us, and we love the time that you give us as well. So good luck this season. We'll talk to you a lot down the road, and we look forward to seeing you out there on the softball field.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And, I love you guys too. And everything you guys are about and what you do for our kids is absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach. We'll see you down the road.
Coach Moots, head coach of the Boardman softball team, joining us so kindly on YSN Running Point to talk about the Boardman Spartan softball team. And they do play at one of the best fields in the area, I'll tell you hands down. I mean, I've broadcasted several games there, whether it be the youth games in the summer that are held there, or the Boardman High School games last year. It's second to none. And especially now with the new scoreboard, there aren't a lot of facilities that can get to that level here in the area. There are some, but Boardman's up there.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, that's what we see too with a lot of these AAC schools. I think all of them have great facilities.
Yep.
Fitch,
I haven't had the opportunity to get to Howland softball yet because we didn't have them last year, but I'm sure
I haven't
I'll get
seen
out there
Howland
this year.
softball, but I've seen Howland baseball, and I know that's a great facility. I know Harding has some good facilities too.
Canfield has a great softball facility.
Canfield's
what I love is the areas that's buying the softball and giving these teams really good stadiums, really good fields, really good just really good facilities, fields that can take some weather, which is what you need in this area. Some drainage systems in these fields, which aren't cheap, and they can take the weather that we're going to get in the spring.
What they're doing too at the AAC schools, especially, they're making fields that are possible to play these district championships on. Like you could play a district championship on Fitch, on Boardman, on Canfield. Like I mean, these are beautiful fields.
You know, Steve Ward said they're trying to vie to get regional games at Fitch because obviously
that would be awesome.
You can play after a rainy day. If it's not raining during the game, you can play in that Fitch field. So Coach Ward trying to get some regional games at Fitch as well. So obviously not the only turf field in the state of Ohio, but I think the only one in the area as far as softball goes, if I'm not mistaken. I think Warren Harding actually got a new turf field, right?
They might have, yeah.
Yeah, I think Harding and Fitch both have turf, but again, Harding not a Ysn school, so I've never been there for softball. And I'm excited to get to Howland for softball this year too. It's a new team.
Yeah, no doubt. It's going to be interesting to see some of these other softball fields, and hey, maybe down the road that'd be really fun to have regionals at Austintown.
Yeah, especially if Fitch is there.
Yeah, no doubt. If Fitch is there too, have that home. Oh man.
Unless he meant other division, like if another, I don't know if they let Fitch's division play.
True, because they are kind of
like if Massillon Washington gives up the D3 regional, I guess it could move to Austintown Fitch, because Champion's almost always getting there, so they would love not having to go all the way to Massillon.
Oh yeah, that would be
South
beautiful.
Range is usually getting there, so they would love not always having to go to Massillon too.
It'd still be beautiful to just have a regional game though on that field, because I mean I love that new Austintown.
Last year the regionals were held at YSU in Division 3, so
never know.
There's obviously no qualms with having it in the area if there's two local teams in that regional final, which at least the last 4 or 5 years, there have been 2 teams in the regional in Division 3 for softball from our area, whether it be Champion South Range Ursuline Champ, whatever. There have always been 2 teams in the regionals. So maybe it gets moved closer, maybe it doesn't. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, who knows? And I mean, by the time that comes around, I mean, it'll be exciting to see if we can get more local teams or local schools, local fields to represent regionals.
Gotta love baseball, softball in their area. It's so good right now. There's so much talent on both sides, and Boardman. When you're talking about the players they have, and they're not the favorites to win the AAC because Fitch has a lot of stars too, that just got to make you excited for AAC softball.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's going to be a very competitive conference, and it's going to be fun to see who comes out on top.
A lot of pitching. The Toth from Canfield. You're going to see Sydney Watts, the freshman from Fitch, and then Maddie Lester from Boardman. All 3 of those next level pitchers. Obviously, Maddie Lester going to Cal U, already committed there. Sydney Watts is going to go Division 1 if she stays healthy. That's just my opinion. And Toth probably could go into the next level too. I don't know what she's looking at as a sophomore. She's at that age now where you start to really look at the schools you want to go to, but I wouldn't have any trouble seeing her be a Division 1 pitcher either.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, who knows what other talent is going to be ahead for the AAC that we don't know right now, that we're not.
Right. There are some players that we don't know that are going to get some time. I'm excited for Maddie Weimer to kind of step into this catcher's role. She shared it a little bit last year, got her feet wet with varsity catching, but when you have a pitcher like Maddie Lester that is going to run the circle a lot, you got to have a catcher that has a good relationship with your pitcher. I mean, DJ Oakley knows that all too well, being a college catcher himself. You got to be able to have a good relationship with your battery, and Maddie Weimer's going to have a chance to catch a lot of games this year for Boardman. So I'm really excited to see what she does growing in her craft, because she got to share the innings last year, and now it's going to be pretty much on her shoulders.
A lot of young players that need to step up too this season, and there's going to be a lot of freshmen and sophomores that are going to be stepping up into big roles coming from the middle school level into the high school realm, and then even more so now juniors and then seniors this year that have to step into leadership roles that we're going to see, and more weight's going to be put on their shoulders, like you said too, in some aspects. It's going to be interesting. It's a whole new breath of fresh air for this softball season. And there's always something special when opening day comes around.
reminder, if you're like me and need that softball fix in your life, YSU is playing a home doubleheader today against Akron at 3 o'clock. You get to see a lot of YSN alums on that field. Sheridan Wilbur from Jefferson plays for Akron. And then, of course, the names at YSU, you got Kennedy Vrabel from Lisbon. You got Bree Kohler from South Range, Conchetta Rinaldi from Cardinal Mooney. You have Champion, Sophie Howe. You have Morgan Stewart from Champion as well, that transferred from Kent State. So you got a lot of YSN alums on that field today if you want to head down to the YSU softball complex and see some great softball.
Yeah, and I mean the YSU softball facility is absolutely beautiful, and there's a lot of beautiful facilities in nice driving distances away too. So I mean,
there are. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Kent State's field down there for softball. Yeah. It's got a great softball facility. Akron's pretty good. I'll give Kent State the nod against Akron against softball facilities. I like Kent State a little bit better. You got a better view from the bleachers. And then Ohio State, I've been there once. It's got it, but I was there for fall ball, so you don't get the whole game day atmosphere.
Yeah, it's not the same. It doesn't.
Not the same when you're going down there for fall ball, but I mean, I got to get to Ohio U one of these days because they have a great program down there. So I'm sure they have a great facility for the Bobcats. I could talk about softball for hours and places I want to go and teams I want to see. So,
well, if you keep talking about softball, Anthony, I think you're bleeding into Casual Sports Podcast.
Don't get me started, man.
And you're gonna get Alec Caberna and then them heated.
Pop in the Casual Sports Podcast and continue the conversation.
Talking about softball. That's how their show opens up. It's just you talking softball. Like you don't miss a beat. You go from your conversation right into the next show. Like you don't stop and pause. You're talking the whole time.
Real quick, let's preview tomorrow's show, as we will have 3 guests live on the show tomorrow. Jake I, the Wyndham baseball coach, will join us at 12:30. After him, David DeJoy, the Brookfield softball coach, at 12:45. And then at 1 o'clock, it'll be Jeff Jackson, Camel baseball's coach. We'll also have hopefully a pre-recorded interview with Niles baseball coach, and that is Michael Graneri, who will be talking to you a little bit later today. So have a lot of interviews tomorrow on the show. I think 4 total, 3 live, 1 pre-recorded, and we're gonna have a fun show tomorrow from 12 to 2. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3, Power Hour from 3 to 4, and then we'll get you loaded for the rest of the night. Me and Ty, we're taking a 22-hour break. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening, and whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay smart, and stay on Running Point.